Hi, I'm Tony Navarrete from BMC Software. I'm going to be talking about IT cost transparency and understanding the costs of providing services that are built on the cloud. Okay. How's that? So what I'm looking at today is a bill of IT for a particular customer, in this case, commercial banking division. And what this lets me see is, at a glance, all the services we're providing for this customer and where we're charging that customer in terms of those dollars. In this case, I can see for every dollar that this customer is charged for IT services, which services are consuming most of that dollar. And in particular, I can see that online retail banking represents the largest part of that cost. So let's understand where those costs come from, particularly in case of a cloud-based service like this one. So I'm going to switch over to the cost model for this service. And what I can see is a detailed cost model that represents all the costs for this service, including the transformational costs, or actually the project costs, as well as the labor costs, the help desk costs, the application development costs, the software costs, and of course the infrastructure costs, including the private cloud infrastructure components. Now let me stop and take a moment to emphasize that just because the service is provided on the cloud, it still has all those other cost components of labor, projects, support, software, etc. Now notice that this service represents about 6% of my private cloud infrastructure costs, and it's about $40,000 of costs. So what are those costs and where do they come from? Well, let me click over to the private cloud cost model I built, and what I'm seeing is the cost model that represents all the components of my private cloud. I can see the storage costs, the compute costs, the lab construction costs, all those different components. And the 6% that this service represents is really based on the VMs that are being consumed by this service.